Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a beer, it's time for some Path of Exile discussion. I've been doing a series where I've been looking at popular and powerful endgame unique items, what sorts of builds use them, and why you might want to consider them in your next build. Today I want to have a look at a flask that no one was using until 3.15 came along. So Forbidden Taste has been in the game a long time. And actually, if you look at just the numbers on Forbidden Taste itself, it'll look like Forbidden Taste got hit with the nerf bat in 3.15. Whilst that's technically true, as an overall package, this item is far stronger than it was in 3.14. Additionally, the other contending items that are also in the Flask slot got made weaker. So let's have a quick look at the item. The first thing I want to point out is that this is one of the very few items in the game that is strictly better when it is at 0 quality. This is annoying because you cannot remove quality at the time I'm recording this video by any means. If you put quality on a Forbidden Taste, you have made it worse. We'll get to why that is in a sec when we look at its explicit mods, but I just wanted to highlight that first. So it has the baseline Quartz Flask mods. It grants you phasing, 6% spell dodge, and 6% attack dodge while it is active. Additionally, it has a drawback while active, 25% of maximum life taken as chaos damage per second. This is considerable, and whilst you can mitigate this with chaos resistance, it is a pretty meaningful drawback, and that is the thing that got changed in 3.15. It used to only be at 8% from memory. In order to use this flask effectively, you will need to have some chaos resistance. It feels pretty good on my character with a fair amount of life recovery and with 25% chaos resistance, although I'm not using it as a full-time flask. I've just sort of messed around with it a little bit. But generally speaking, it works best if you can get your chaos resistance to the 75% cap, and if you can get it overcapped, that's even better. So what was it that changed though? This item was made so much better when the 3.15 changes came in and introduced Instilling and Enkindling Orbs. And these give you the option to trigger the flask to go off at when certain conditions are met. So you'll see here that this one has used when you use a guard skill. This one used when you take a savage hit, and this one used when an adjacent flask is used. These are the three setups that I would suggest you consider. The reason that this is so good is that the instant you actually hit the Forbidden Taste is when it has the biggest effect on your character. So it recovers an enormous amount of life the instant you use it. And this is a really strong effect. There's no other flask in the game that can instantly bring a character with, say, 7,000 life from the point of death to full life, just like that. Forbidden Taste will do that, as long as you can mitigate that drawback of the chaos damage that you're dealing to yourself through either chaos resistance or other means. So, why would you consider these specific enchants? Firstly, use when an adjacent flask is used will be used if you have Forbidden Taste and then you have an adjacent flask that is key to go off on a savage hit. Essentially, the purpose here is of this enchant is that you would use it alongside a use when you take a savage hit combination. So that's what's going on there. Use when you take a savage hit though, is savage hits are when you lose 15% or more of your life in one hit. So that means you've taken a big chunking from an enemy. This is a really good time to have on the very same frame that hit connects with you to recover 94% of your life with this flask, 99% with this one, or even with this worst possible roll one, recover 75% of your life. Any of that is probably going to save you if you're in a spot of trouble. The other setup that I consider really good though is having it with used when you use a guard skill. So this would be used in conjunction with a high level cast when damage taken. And so what's going to happen is, let's say that you've got a cast when damage taken that triggers when you take about 3,000 damage. So an enemy smashes you, punches you for a few thousand health in damage. Then you will immediately have cast when damage taken trigger either Steel Skin for most characters, but maybe you'll use a different guard skill. That's up to you. Maybe you'll use Immortal Call. And then at this point, you will also proc a heal to full life or almost full life. So as long as you've got at least 1% of your life left, this is going to recover you to full life. If you have a little bit less than 1%, you're still going to be pretty happy that this goes off. And whilst you've then got this chaos damage over time coming in, you can probably manage that through things like, at least on my character, a high level vitality. But of course, you'll have your own solution to this, to life recovery. It might be life leech on your character. But essentially, this will grant you a very significant protective layer that will give you that extra bit of time fighting to kill the enemy, or alternately, it will give you time to get out of there. So that's Forbidden Taste. That's why it's become so much better than it's been in the past. How do you get it? It's just a common drop anywhere unique. But if you don't find it, you can probably find it pretty easily by going to Bestiary, by doing some Einhar missions, then going to Einhar's Menagerie and using the create a random flask as many times as a random unique flask as many times as you're able to do so. Then all you need to do is complete the core storyline, get to the epilogue towns. This can either be Oriath or the Karui Shores. And then once you go there, just stick this into your crafting bench, and you'll have access to all of the enchantments. You'll need to pick up the highest move speed craft, and then at the same time you'll get all of the flask crafts. And that'll give you the flexibility to craft exactly what you want onto your Forbidden Taste. But as I say, consider those 3 options. And if you've got any comments or questions, definitely fire away below. Until next time, may your Val Orbs have interesting results, and remember not to use a Glassblower's Bauble on your Forbidden Taste, because you will regret it.